どこだろう。
There's an argument to be made that Cure by Kiyoshi Kurosawa is the greatest movie ever made.
When we think of the word cure, at least in a medical context, a symbol that is synonymous to healing one's ailments and health crises is the medical cross. And in a spiritual context, if you extend a limb of this cross, you get the Christian cross, a symbol of religion which provokes images of a more existential cure to human suffering. We all know that these pillars of society form the center of its operating mechanism, but Kiyoshi Kurosawa's society in Cure seems to be secretly governed by a different cross altogether. The cynical tilt of this film towards crime and destruction gives rise to a creepy world of occultist cures, as if the film is peering into the mind of a wild monkey. In Cure, Kiyoshi Kurosawa's camera is marked by an iconic shift away from the center, away from our protagonist onto miscellaneous elements of modern Japan that appear empty. In fact, the film begins on a very atypical note, holding a gaze not on Detective Takabe, who is our protagonist solving murders, but his wife, a mentally disturbed woman who narrates a cryptic fable before us, with the camera cutting to her diagnosis of schizophrenia. On the surface, Cure is about a detective and a psychiatrist decrypting puzzling murders happening in the city. The twist is that all the murders were committed by a hypnotist who claims to have lost his memory. Eventually, Detective Takabe discovers the hypnotist's origins as a psychology student obsessed with mesmerism and animal magnetism. But by the end, we realize that while Takabe was hunting Mamiya, it was actually Mamiya who preyed on Takabe's mind all along, turning this murder mystery into an unlikely art house tragedy with surprising psychological depth. This is how elements of this world contradict themselves in subtle ways, giving us this bizarre feeling that the film is alive in more ways than one. While most film analysts on the internet assume that these elements are literal, in this series I seek to adopt an alternative approach that changes the stakes of the film completely. So I invite you to the next part of this series, available on your end screens now.